so cool.
Yeah, my parents sent me here to get me out of the city so that I could learn with dignified and sensible girls.
And your roommate is Grace?
Yep. She's from Iowa.
When I first came to Woodpine, everything was so new and intimidating, but soon you'll find that these halls will become familiar, and the dorms will be your homes.
Enjoyed this short film. It felt like I was watching the beginning of an actual feature film, and when it ended, a part of me was like, I want some more. I wish I had some more. I could have watched some more. I loved the actresses, their chemistry, that was great. And the ending also, it resonated with me because I was approximately the same age when 9/11 happened. So a part of me just went, oh, wow, so that's the big reveal. Oh, and I could just instantly relate to it, even though my dad isn't a senator. I was like, oh my God, I was approximately the same age when that happened. So it brought me back.
I think that was a really good film. I love the opening scene. The aerial view was really nice. I also got a little nervous because I don't like boarding out. So when they were doing the tour, it got me shivering. But at least the set location, the set design was very friendly and beautiful. So maybe boarding house isn't that bad. And then finally, I really liked the closing scene. It was so touching. And
the title Time at Woodpine really made me think about, like, initially I was like doing time at school. Yeah, it is like prison. I wasn't expecting 9/11 to play a part. That was a nice, I guess, twist. I loved the casting. I think the casting was perfect.
It was a great story, and I didn't know where it was going. Very touching that it was during the World Trade Center collapse, and how that's putting it lightly, but how that brings people together. So the story building on these two just not liking each other, and I really liked the character development because it wasn't like one was good and one was bad. They both were not being kind to each other. And it kept your attention. It was very entertaining. The cinematography was beautiful from the start, very well done. I liked the camera work a lot. It was very effective in capturing emotion. Acting was very, very good. And it's such a story that people can relate to. I really enjoyed it. So great job.
I thought it was really well done, beautiful slice of life, and kind of a twist ending. It's not the direction that I thought it was going to go at all, but really very touching. Well done.
So this film really brought a tear to my eye at the end. I thought it was very beautifully shot. I think they did a great job of establishing the era, read the NSYNC poster and having George Bush on the news. Very realistic portrayal of the clique mentality and how quickly that it can form. I like that we see the struggle of both girls' situations and that Claire's demeanor is actually a result of her feeling very vulnerable due to her struggle to connect with her parents back home. The tension is resolved beautifully and without any dialogue, which makes it all the more powerful at the end.
It was an interesting depiction of two completely different individuals, girls at a boarding school or a finishing school. I really liked the desaturated film stock. Everything just seemed to be very, very pastel and very pretty, which sort of conjured up this fairy tale world. I thought the little bits of adding in news footage, such as President Bush, it very quickly identified the time period, because at one point I wasn't quite certain whether it was modern day or in the past, so that was really good in terms of keeping it together. Score of the film was quite tastefully underdone, so it sort of supported and held back rather than being at the forefront.
This one's a period piece from 2001, right around 9/11 to be exact, and I thought that it did a really good job of painting that setting, really good attention to detail. The characters, at least from my limited experience with girls at an all-girls school, I thought were great. They seemed mostly believable, grounded for the most part. The dialogue, again, for the most part, sounded fairly convincing. The portrayal of Grace, I thought, was phenomenal. Hats off to that actor. I don't know, it was a really delightful film. What I liked about it was the way it touched on the psyche of the one character, Claire, and why somebody who seems so mean on the surface might be acting the way they're acting. And I think it's a good reminder to all of us to be cognizant of what we don't know.
What a beautiful film. I love this film. I love the reactions between the two girls. Great performances. The Ivy League girl from New York City and the country girl from Iowa. I love their competition. Really good performances. I also love the wardrobe. I love the contrast between her little pink bow of the New York City girl and the tartan shirt, the rustic shirt of the country girl. I love the location, beautiful location for this film, gorgeous Ivy League school, wherever it is. And I really love the storyline about how they compete and then end up coming together when tragedy strikes. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Good job.
I felt like there was just really solid production design, and it was filmed beautifully. Felt like it was cast really well.
The cast was fantastic, and the writing was very depth. I went in completely blind, so the ending, which grounded the film in a particular time within the context of a major world event, took me by surprise. It was very well realised, and really crystallised what the film was about. Those key moments that define relationships. I thought it was very thematically strong throughout.
I liked the locations that it was shot at. The story the payoff was unique and really tapped into a seminal historical event that really connected people in a very profound and deep way.
I really like this film. The relationship between the two characters was built up really well. But I thought the way they handled the ending in particular was very well done. No dialogue being used. Really this moment of tragedy bringing together two people that were at odds. Really well done.
I thought this one was phenomenal. I loved this one because of the story, the way it was put together. It made me think, you can't take anything for granted, and you got to watch what you say because you never know what could happen. I appreciate this one a lot.
Time at Woodpine. Jarring twist in this film. The message was very quickly altered from a lesson on how we treat people based on our assumptions about them and their circumstance to how we should treat each other always. How bias and feelings and assumptions get put on the back burner in times of crisis. A message of humanity, of togetherness, of what it is to be there for each other. Taking the perspective of some young female students at a boarding school, of all things, that was a really unique perspective to see. The message of solidarity couldn't have come at a better time as well, as we see our world in a different kind of crisis right now. But in these times, humans just become humans. And having the school bully, the popular girl, comforted by the girl that is picked on by her and many others, I think that was a great representation of the message. And the little pop culture references that the girls find common ground in, those were great. And I think both of the female leads did a wonderful job. It was very natural. All in all, a great film.